Hi everyone, this is video number 4 of my Intro to Creation Consciousness series. This is the last video that I'll be sharing with you before our course launches tomorrow. I know that many of you have already joined, and so you can use this video as a bit more of an entry point into what we're going to be studying over this 6-part master course. And today in this video, I'm going to share with you a little bit more about the logistics of the course and kind of how you can expect it to flow and what you can expect to receive in the course. I'm also going to talk about the 6 parts of the creation cycle that we'll be flowing through as we move through the course itself, and a little bit more about the guides and the teachings that are going to come through and where they're coming from to support you. So the first thing that I want to do is bring up my screen share here and just talk about the 6 parts of the creation cycle. And so here is the modules as I've laid them out. And I've got a couple of descriptors under each module, but know that for all of my courses, I often live channel a good bit of the content, meaning there will be a topic that we will talk through, but based on the energies of the group and the information that is needed to best support the people that have signed up for the course, information will be live channeled from my guides. And I'll talk a little bit more about who I'm bringing through for this course as we get to the end of this video. But the creation cycle, as I've defined it and I've lived it over the last several years, and really especially over the last 9 months as I birthed this course and many other creations that I'm working on, has really 6 parts. And so I've laid out the course to follow along the different modules. We'll follow along the different parts of the creation cycle. And we're going to actually start with module 1 tomorrow night with the release. And in module 1, we're going to talk about all the things that you might have to release attachment to and let go of in order to bring in and birth your new creation. And keep in mind, like I said in my previous videos, this creation doesn't have to be a tangible thing. What you might be bringing to the table as your intention for this course is really a creation of a new life for yourself or a new state of being. And this creation cycle, this 6-part cycle, applies to so many things that we move through in our life. It applies to relationships, it applies to actual physical creation projects, books, businesses, new ideas of things that you want to deliver to the world. But it also applies to our awakening process and how we move through a cycle of rebirth. And how often that happens depends on the level of commitment we have and the desire we have to move forward in our spiritual awakening. And so I'll be talking about this creation cycle and these different modules in terms of all kinds of applications. So my goal in delivering this to you is that you come with an intention of something you want to birth, but then you leave having learned a process and being able to flow through a cycle with ease that exists for all facets of your life. And so in module 1, we're going to really be focusing on the release and what we need to do to make space for new to come in. We're going to be talking about grief. We're going to be talking about how to honor grief. We're going to be talking about letting go of responsibility, allowing other people to have their process, which is a big topic that I know many of you have emailed me about that I'm going to be covering in this course. So module 1 is going to be very, very important. It's going to kick us off and make the space that is needed for us to step into module 2, which will come the following week, which is the void. And I just have to say, the way the timing always aligns for my course, I get guided on when to kick it off. And it never fails that every module aligns with another energetic theme that's existing for that time period that I'm teaching the course in. It happens every single time. This is part of my co-creation with Spirit. And module 1, which we're doing tomorrow night around release, very much coincides with this full moon lunar cycle that we're moving through today and tomorrow, where we're actually being asked to release and make space for some things to come in. So the universe is supporting us and co-creating with us even in this course. But module 2, as I mentioned, is the void. This is the most uncomfortable part of the creation process for many of us. It's the in-between. It's the space before something new begins. And it is difficult, right? Because as humans, we don't like change. And so we're going to really work in module 2 on embracing the unknown and really embodying the frequency of trust and allow. I'm going to be bringing in a lot of divine feminine knowings for module 2 because it's all about the liminal space, right? The space between and the stillness. And many of us have had a hard time leaning into that through this pandemic cycle that we've been moving through, because we kind of got forced into slowing down, and we're not very good at that. And so module 2 is going to really help you with that void process, that space between. And then on the 3rd week of December, we're going to be stepping into the spark. So we're going to be coming into the very beginnings of the creation process itself, in terms of when a new creation starts and is ignited within you, an idea, right? We're going to talk about the mental body and how we open to new beginnings through the mental body. And then we're going to start to harness the head heart sacral connection, which is something that I'll be talking a lot about through the course. But we're really going to dive deeply into the mechanics and the energy body of the creation process and the spark of that energy coming into fruition. And so that's what we'll focus on in the 3rd week of December. We'll have a little bit of break during the holidays. And then at the beginning of January, we will move into module 4, which is the creation. And the creation is all about receiving support from all the different realms, and not just from the non-physical realm in terms of guides and intuition, but from the physical realm, and really starting to harness all of those support structures that might already exist in your life, and then allowing more of that to come in so that everything can come together for the creation to actually start to take shape. And we're going to talk about the harnessing of the pause and the flow cycles, because when we're in creation mode, we're not constant in that, right? There may be lulls, there may be periods where we feel like we're going all the way back to module 1 again, or cycle 1, which is the release. And so we're going to talk about the flow of the creation process and the microcosms that exist within it. And then we'll move into module 5, which is the birth. And so in the 2nd week of January, we will actually birth our creation out into the world. We'll talk about making things manifest in physical reality. We're going to talk a lot about fear blockers and imposter syndrome, which comes up right as things are birthing. I have to be honest, over the last few days, I've been in this birth process because this course is going live tomorrow, and all of my fear blockers started to come up. And that is a normal thing when you're moving through the creation process and the creation cycle. And we're going to talk about how to manage that and what you need to do to support yourself and how to prepare for those blockers as they come up, and then what to do when they arise. And then in module 6, which is the 3rd week in January, we're going to talk about the life of your creation and letting it grow, using your resources and managing your resources, allowing it to ebb and flow in terms of its growth cycles, and really separating yourself from the creation, meaning allowing it to take on a life of its own, so that whatever it is that you've brought into being can start to kind of gain more momentum on its own without you having to put all of your time and energy into it. And this is a really important part of the process that most people don't talk about when they talk about manifestation or creation. And so that means that the things that you're birthing often don't take full form. And so we're really going to move through that in module 6, and you'll see how that kind of aligns with the overall structure that's been created through the creation cycle. And so those are the 6 modules that we'll be covering in this course. And as I said, this is a highlight of what I'm going to be talking about, but what will happen in each module is that a teaching will come in from my guides, and then after that teaching, a activation will start to develop, and that will be brought forward in the class and will be recorded separately, so that throughout the week from when the module is released to the next module, you have time to work with the energies of that activation to actually embrace that frequency in your being holistically. Because what I've learned over the last 3 years as I've taught different courses is that The head stuff is really there to give you all something to sink your teeth into, to give your mental body something to think about. But the true magic in the way that I deliver courses and teachings is in the frequencies that come through. And so as the activations are downloaded through me and then brought forward into the course, you all will be receiving those frequencies and be bathed in them and be bringing them into your being and anchoring them into all the cells in your body. And that's really important because this creation cycle that I'm talking about, yes, it is a process. I am a process person. I have been doing that my whole life. I love to take really complicated things and distill them down into a very simple process that the mind can get around. But it's really a way of being. It's a frequency that I want you all to start to realize that you're going to be adopting, a vibration through this course. And so the activations are the secret sauce, right? And you'll get those and you'll be able to come back to them even after the course is completed, so that if you're in a void cycle or if you're in a spark cycle of your creation process or your growth period or your awakening process, you'll have a support system, a structure to come back to over and over and over again to support you through that part of your cycle so that you don't feel stuck. Because oftentimes people come to me in one-on-one sessions because they get stuck in their creation process, in their awakening process. And when they get stuck, they don't know how to move forward, then they need a tool. And so my goal is to give you all a tool that you're going to be able to work with over and over again, 6 tools actually, that you'll be able to work with over and over again as you move through this creation cycle in your life. And the other thing that I'll be weaving into the course is some thought-provoking homework assignments, right? So there may be certain things that I want you to do in the physical realm to support the energies of the module that we're working with, because this is not just esoteric stuff, right? This is talking about us birthing something into the physical reality that we're a part of here and now. And so sometimes we need to take a physical action to support that birth process or that creation process. And so you can expect that there will be other things that I will be asking you to do in the weeks between, in the time between the weeks of the modules. And it's perfect that we have the holidays as a break between the first half and the second half, because that little bit of time where we have the spark of an idea before we step into creation, that's very much what happens in the creation cycle itself. There's often a longer pause between step 3 and step 4. And so the way that the universe has aligned this and the timing that I've been guided to have is really perfect for this process. And you're going to be able to move through this and then be able to take that forward as a template for your future creation cycles. And so let me talk with you a little bit about the guides that I'm bringing through. So I know many of you are Healing Circle participants or have come to me for one-on-one sessions. And so you kind of know how I operate and you know what I do. But, you know, I'm a channel. And so everything, when I teach something, I live it first. And that is just the way that I have decided in this lifetime at this point in time to co-create with Spirit. And it ensures that I have moved through a process completely and seen all of the nuances of it, so that when I teach it or when I bring it forward in session with somebody or within a workshop with somebody, that I've lived it so that I can hold that frequency and then gift it to those that are coming to the course with me. And that's really important for you all to understand, because this is not just something that I sat down and downloaded, you know, in one meditation. Yes, the 6-part cycle came in one meditation, but I have moved through the 6 phases of this cycle probably 100 times since this idea came in for this course in March when the pandemic began. And, you know, it's interesting to me that it took me about, 7 months to get to this part of releasing this course. And by the time the course has been fully completed, it will be a whole 9-month cycle, right? And so the irony is not lost on me there, that I'm following a traditional birth cycle here to deliver this course to you. And so much about what we're moving into for 2021 is us stepping into our uniqueness and holding our truth and being in our full discernment of what it is that we need to create in the world, regardless of what everybody around us thinks. And so in order to facilitate that and to help you all through this course, a lot of the frequency that I'm going to be channeling is the Divine Feminine Collective. And that's just the name that I have for them. They came to me as a group of beings in the summer when I was leading my retreats. Yes, I was leading retreats in the middle of a pandemic, and I was fully supported by Spirit in that, co-created with Spirit in that. And when the Divine Feminine Collective started to come in, it included beings like Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Anna, grandmother of Jesus, Goddess Isis, Goddess Sophia, White Buffalo Calf Woman, all of these beautiful divine feminine vessels that have existed in mysticism for hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years, came forward and started to surround me in a particular frequency that I just call the Divine Feminine. And that is such an important frequency for the creation process because the feminine creates. And it doesn't matter what your gender is or how you gender identify, you can still adopt this divine feminine frequency and use it to birth your creations into the world. And so we're going to be diving deep into that frequency. And as I'm talking to you all about it, they're coming in, and it's this soft, slow, graceful pulse of energy that is just full of unconditional love. And so that is a huge part of the frequencies that are going to be coming through for this course. The other part is my connection with the creator beings, or the 12th dimensional beings, as I call them. And they are this group of source beings that include Archangel Metatron, Archangel Michael, Ascended Master Yeshua or Jesus, a lot of the masculine creator beings that I channel that are full of knowledge and information that is needed for the mental and physical body to hold the masculine container for the divine feminine birth to happen. And so that's the other half, right? And so I will be weaving those two energies together along with my star connections, right? My Sirius, my Pleiadian, my Arcturian, all of those connections will be coming through as well to really weave a container for this course that will be like a little womb that will allow you all to step in and co-create with Spirit, co-create with your higher self, and then co-create with one another in this course. And so this container that is being created is the most important part. The frequencies and the energy that I'll be holding is the most important part. The knowledge and the mental body information is key, but it's really about the container and the frequency. And so I wanted to give you an understanding of some of the beings and the guides that I've been working with to birth this, that will also be present as I teach. And sometimes I'll be in the lead role, I'll be speaking from a human perspective, and sometimes they will just come through and they will give a very expanded perspective of a topic that feels very third dimensional. And that's really by design, right? Because we want to expand your understanding of the creation process beyond what you've known in third dimensional reality, right? We're very used to what creation looks like in 3D. We want to take you to 5D all the way up to 12D in terms of how you look at the creation cycle. So that's what I wanted to share with you all today. That is my last video in this intro series. This is a really important course. I have no idea if I'm going to ever teach it live again. When I put these things together, sometimes it's a one and done. Sometimes it comes back around, several months later. I have no idea, right? Spirit is just guiding me that this is what I'm to do now. This is really important. And it's so important because of what we're going to see in 2021 and this energy that we're going to step into, which I'll be sharing more about in December. I've got a whole workshop on that. But it is about this idea of co-creation and community and stepping into our autonomy and our uniqueness, but then creating with others from that place of wholeness. And so this course is my way of getting you all ready for that, so that those of you that are light workers and way showers, which is everyone who's signing up for this course, I can guarantee you are here for a reason. Everybody is, but if you're signing up for this course, it's important for you to receive these frequencies right now. it, I'm bringing this forward because I believe that that's how the new earth is going to be created. As I said, I think in video 1, right? We've got these two timelines overlapping. We've got this new earth being built and birthed, and then we have what is falling away. And I don't know about you, but I want to participate in the new things that are coming in. I freaking signed up to be here for all this new stuff that's coming in, not for the old stuff, right? None of us have felt like that really fit anyways. And so a lot of the things that are being released and let go of just were never in alignment to begin with us. And so let's get started birthing the new reality. And each of you will do this in your microcosm within your own life through this course. But then the ripple effects of you stepping into and holding that frequency will impact everybody in your circle, right? And so that is hugely impactful to me. So if I have 45 people who sign up for this course, I may be touching more like 450 people with this frequency because of all of you, right? I'm gifting you all this frequency so that you can go out and create from it and live it and let other people experience it through you, and then they can start to adopt it. And that's how we shift this collective consciousness. So anyways, I'm very excited. Sorry to go on the rabbit hole train there, but thank you all for watching this video. Thank you to those of you who have already signed up for the course. I hope a few more of you jump on before we get started tomorrow night. Yeah, and if you have any questions, email me, and I'm happy to answer them. So have a beautiful, wonderful day and week. Thanks for watching my video, and I will see you all soon.